Hey, welcome back to Buckets and Bibles. Bang out some videos for you guys today. So, I want to talk about cheat codes because there's a lot of cheat codes with cars and with problematic stuff, with troubleshooting things. One of them is engines take three things to run. It's fuel, compression, and spark. And you can usually know if it's fuel if you use starting fluid. And starting fluid isn't super good for cars. So in an emergency, it's fine. You can do what you got to do. I use it on motorcycles, quads, side by sides, diesel, gasoline engines. It works great. Diesels, especially if you're stuck in the wintertime and your glow plugs go out, or not glow plugs, but your block warmer or your harness or anything, the engine won't start because it's cold. It is hard on vehicles, but I will tell you that I've used starting fluid in my truck for 4 years, and it hasn't grenaded it, and it really hasn't changed the performance of it at all. But because I couldn't afford to get the work done that needs to get done to it, and I didn't have the knowledge to do it myself, it was a cheat code, especially in the wintertime. If I forgot to use the block warmer, I could at least get her fired up, and then let her slowly warm up over 45 minutes, because diesels are cold-blooded, before I could really get her going. But this truck will not start without it because the wiring harness for the glow plugs is bad. And to get to that, you got to take a bunch of the stuff off the top of the engine to get to the valve covers. To then get to the valve covers is kind of a problem in a few spots. And then the valve covers are actually a wiring harness that's inside of them. So it's a little bit of a thing. I'm going to do it soon. Hopefully Wrench is going to give me a hand with that, because I got one wing, and I'm going to tell you, I did the brake video earlier, and putting my big ass truck wheel on was really hard with one wing because I'm hurt right now. I barely got it up there. I was like yelling for the kids to come help. I'm like, hey, come help me. It's too heavy. But I'm going to show you how to start a truck. So it hasn't been started in days. This truck really hard to start if you leave her sitting. If you start her up daily, she's a little bit easier, but I usually have to tack it out, red line it pretty hard, and it has a rev limiter, so it won't go and just grenade the engine. But who knows? We got a video going, it might. And usually, just to kind of blow it out, I have to do that on this truck. If I don't get it to all the way open up, as soon as I let go of the key, she'll putter down and die, and the engine sound changes. And so I know what that sounds like. I know that once she actually will take a little bit of pedal, and she'll actually rev up, then I know that I can let off and she'll idle and it'll be fine. So I'm gonna do a cold start, and then you guys will see me come out. I'll hit it with some starting fluid. I may lean over right here and spray it while I'm trying to start it too, to kind of give it a little extra oomph. But usually you can spray it in the air box, if you know how to open your air filter, if it doesn't require tools. Otherwise, there's a vent on the air box. You should, while you have time without problems, learn where that is. So if you have to use starting fluid, you can spray this stuff where it needs to go. And everything's a little bit different on that. Motorcycles don't take a whole lot. They just take a couple quick generators, the same thing. If your generator won't start because it's been a while, sometimes you can cheat and use a little bit of this and get it going. Wood chippers, same thing. I've used it on all kinds of stuff over the years. It does help things to get them going, especially if they're a little bit of carburetor problem and they won't naturally start on a pull. But this will kind of give it just enough extra fuel and spark. Also, what kind of starting fluid you get. A lot of the gas station stuff has 20% ether in them. It doesn't really work that great for me. It's been my experience that it's not that great. I like the 50%. So you can see right there, it's 50% ether. It's way stronger. I find that I use a lot less of the can to try to get things going. And I have used, I don't know, 25, 30 cans probably in the last year and a half on all kinds of different stuff, including my truck mostly. But I've used it to get a riding lawnmower started, to test if a fuel pump was out on a vehicle, because it's like you're turning it over, it's acting like it wants to start, but it won't quite, but you hit it with some starting fluid while you're turning the key. Usually takes 2 people. Or you'll get a little bit in there and you'll turn the key by yourself and it'll fire up for a second and then die when you use the starting fluid. That's how you know you're not getting fuel, usually. Or if you can just tap it while you're turning the key over and it'll keep it running, you know it's fuel delivery. So it could be fuel pump, injector clog, bad gas. There's a number of things, but it's kind of a cheat code for me on how to get this old truck started. And she's got 441,000 miles on her and she still runs, so I'm gonna run her until the wheels fall off. But for now, this is what I got to do, and I'll show you guys how to do it really quick. So stand by. I'll do a cold start, show you that she's not going to turn. She'll turn over, she will not start. She may act like it, she may white smoke a little bit. That's all normal stuff for this truck. It's been since I bought it, it's been the same thing for 4.5 years, I guess. But I'll do it right now. All right, cold start. Nothing. But I already told you it was going to do that. So I've got an open air filter, so I'm able to spray right on it. I do a decent amount. Now we're going to get her going. So what I'll do is I'll let her die with just that little bit, and then I'll show you how I actually start this one. Aha! So you can see it started up and immediately died. But now I'm gonna spray a little more while I'm starting it, and she's gonna fire up and it's gonna get real loud. And she's running. So, cheat code. All vehicles are a little bit different. My old truck it's old, man. And I think that it served me well. I know the truck, I know what it needs, know what it doesn't need. I know when it's too much for it. But that has saved me when there was, 9-inch icicles hanging off my truck and the truck was frozen and the fuel was gelled up and I could barely get her going. It took me about 1.5 cans, and I was in the middle of nowhere, out doing some stuff, and my truck froze overnight. And when I came back to it, it wouldn't start, and there was nowhere to call. There's no cell service, and so it saved me. And I've kind of used that over the years. And so if that helps you at all, understanding like emergency kits, when you got kits mean everything. They don't just mean tactical shit. They mean like road hazard kits, flares, medical kits from Refuge Medical. It means experience on how to do the things, train, and then know what cars, motorcycles, SUVs, whatever it is, know what they do and don't do. Study the basics, mechanics of something. Get with somebody that learn how to do your brakes was the other video, and this one's kind of like, hey, if something doesn't work, you can cheat code it. So anyhow, that's all I got. Thanks. Shalom.